Special thanks to Colonel Jeremiah Gentry for inviting us to your base for this entire exciting event and your leadership throughout the entire FMS project. I'm Tim Allen, President of the Chamber of Commerce. I would like to start off by saying thank you to everyone on stage today, Governor Sarah Sanders, Mayor George McGill, Senator John Bozeman, Senator Cotton, Congressman Steve Womack, General Stubbs, and Rob Ader, Colonel Rob Ader, and our Lieutenant Governor is in the audience. Thank you for being here. For nearly 3 years, I've been waiting for the day when I could stand here and say the record of decision making Ebbing Air National Guard Base, the new home for the Foreign Military Sales Pilot Training Center, has been signed. This decision, signed by the Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall, culminates a 3-year process of hard work and dedication from numerous partners throughout the greater Fort Smith region, Little Rock, Washington. This is a monumental win for the community, the state, and the River Valley. And I thank each of you for your participation and your diligence in making this moment happen. I have to recognize a few people that are in the audience that are crucial to getting us here today. And I'm in a room full of rock stars, so it's kind of hard to cherry pick all the rock stars, but I'll do my best. I want to thank Mr. Carl Gefkin, the City Administrator, and the entire City Board of Directors. Mr. Michael Griffin and the entire Airport Board of Directors. Brian Maurer with Half Associates. Judge Holtz with Sebastian County. Secretary Hugh McDonald with the Department of Commerce, Mr. Clint O'Neill with AEDC, and Colonel Rob Ader. Also with us here today is Colonel David Gibbons. He's kind of the silent partner off to the side over at Fort Chaffee Army Guard Base, so we're so excited to have him. And also my entire board of directors is here from the chamber. Thank you. You know, we all do a really good job of thanking each other and patting ourselves on the back, and rightfully so. But I also want to thank the U.S. Air Force and Singapore for choosing Fort Smith and our unwavering support for this military installation. Thank you so much. Also, I'd like to say the real rock stars in this building are the men and women who are serving Ebbing Base and the Army Base at Fort Chaffee. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to introduce our governor. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is the 47th governor of Arkansas. Governor Sanders served as White House press secretary for President Donald J. Trump from 2017 to 2019. A trusted confidant of the president, she advised him on everything from press and communication strategy to personnel and policy. Governor Sanders was the only third woman and the very first mom to ever hold the job of White House press secretary. Upon her departure from the administration, President Trump described Sarah as irreplaceable, a warrior, and a very special person with extraordinary talents who has done an incredible job. Inaugurated on January 10th, 2023, she was the first woman to serve as governor of the great state of Arkansas and currently is the youngest governor in the country. Please join me in welcome Governor Sarah Sanders.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tim, and good afternoon. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. You know, I've had a lot of introductions, and having grown up in politics, I've seen a lot of different people introduced, and I'll never forget one time when I was a kid and I went to an event with my dad, and the man went up to introduce him and said, "I've been told this man needs no introduction." And that's a good thing because I've never heard of him. So we're already off to a much better start than that. I want to say a huge thank you to Senator Boozman, Senator Cotton, and Congressman Womack and Mayor McGill for their unbelievable leadership in bringing us to the point that we are. All of the people on this stage and in this room have worked in a culmination of their efforts, have made today the exciting moment that it is. We could not and would not be here without their leadership and their steadfast support for this program. I can't express how excited I am for today's event. Probably more than a lot of Arkansas governors, I've had the chance to travel around the world interacting with our military on the daily basis during the time that I served at the White House. And I got to see the unbelievable men and women who make up our armed forces. I got to see how steadfast and just how incredible our airmen are. However, as great as all of the people that I interacted with as I traveled around the world, I know that the very best to represent our country are right here at home in Arkansas. Arkansas has long been the training ground for some of America's very best pilots and air personnel. And today, we are taking that global. Soon, Ebbing Air National Base will be home to 36 state-of-the-art aircraft and 1,200 new base staff. We'll host airmen from as far away as Europe and Singapore. As governor, I'd like to be the very first to extend our welcome to those who will soon call Arkansas home. I'm probably a little bit biased in this, but I believe that our rich heritage, our natural beauty, and the most important asset that Arkansas has, our kind and generous people, make us the very best state anywhere in the country. We might even teach some of these out-of-towners how to call the hogs. I think we're pretty good at that here too. The federal dollars that have been spent on construction and personnel will cascade into as much as $1 billion in economic impact. For the Fort Smith area, the River Valley, and our entire state, this is monumental. What's truly astonishing about this project is its speed and seamlessness through which it came into being. The fastest environmental impact study in the Air Force history. Rapid financial help from the state, from the county, and the city. 0 negative comments in the public comment period. And as somebody who's been a part of a lot of public comments, it's pretty spectacular that you could have anything with 0 negative comments. This project looks simple on the surface because of the way that it has been executed from the incredible people in this room. But it required a mountain of work behind the scenes from local, state, and our federal leaders. The chamber and the city had to sell this idea to the Fort Smith community. Our congressional delegation had to flex its muscle on Capitol Hill, and the state had to be a willing partner throughout. I can't thank the team here enough for their leadership and for their work on this project. This will be a generational impact on our state, and it puts Fort Smith right at the center of America's global defense infrastructure. We are so proud of what is being accomplished here today, and we cannot wait to continue this. Congratulations to the city, to our airmen, and to Arkansas. Thank you so much to the men and women who serve and make Arkansas look so good, not just here, but around the world. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you, Governor. We are so looking forward to your leadership with Arkansas and state of Arkansas. So we're all with you, and thank you so much. Next, I would like to introduce our mayor, Mayor George McGill. Mayor McGill has a long list of accomplishments that he's had over his career. And so I had pages of it. So I won't go through all of those, Mayor, but I'll hit a few important items. Elected August 14th, 2018, first African American to ever run for mayor of Fort Smith, Arkansas. His list of accomplishments: Arkansas House of Representatives, District 78, Fort Smith, Deputy Pro Tem of House of Representatives, Legislative Rules Committee, Committee for City, County, and Local Affairs, Arkansas Legislative Council, and it really does. It goes on for a very long time. Retired from a small business owner, Mayor McGill Insurance Company and Financial Services. Sir, if this was what retirement looks like, I don't want any part of it. I mean, oh my goodness. All around great guy, Mayor George McGill.
What do you think, Fort Smith? What a day this is. I think back when I was a kid, Fort Smith, Arkansas, and for whatever reason, still here. It's an amazing time, and I've had a chance to see her grow into something spectacular. And we're on the verge of transformation, without a doubt. And so I'm here to say thank you from all the citizens, not only from Fort Smith, but all across the River Valley, my friends from Oklahoma, our friends in Northwest Arkansas. I'm here to say thanks on their behalf. And so I'm going to start with our congressional delegation. This project was not known to us until they spied it out. And they brought it to our attention. And they knew we could handle this mission. And they went to work. So Congressman Womack, Senator Cotton, Senator Boozman, thank you very much for looking out for Fort Smith, Arkansas, and looking out for Arkansas in this region. We thank you very much. And Governor, thank you for showing up today. Our goal is to have you here many, many more times with great announcements on manufacturing, aerospace opportunities. We have a wonderful future. And we're going to welcome the Singapore delegation here, and we're going to make them feel at home. And all others who choose Fort Smith, we're going to make them feel at home. We're going to make them a part of our community. So again, on behalf of all the residents across the River Valley, that 250,000 people that cross our streets every day, we say thank you, and let's go Hogs, okay?
Thank you, Mayor. Always a great spokesman for our community. Next, I would like to introduce Senator John Bozeman. Senator Bozeman is Arkansas's senior U.S. Senator and Dean of the state's congressional delegation. Fifth generation Arkansan, Senator Bozeman was raised in Fort Smith and graduated from Northside High School. As a member of the Committee on Veterans Affairs, Senator Bozeman has authorized provisions to bolster care and services for women veterans. Senator Bozeman serves as the ranking member of the Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry during the 117th Congress. He continues to serve on the Committee of Appropriations, which is responsible for allocating federal funds, and the Committee on the Environment and Public Works, where much of the nation's infrastructure policy is developed. First elected to the Senate in 2010, Senator Bozeman was sworn in for a third term in January of this year. Prior to serving with the Senate, he served the people of the 3rd District in the House of Representatives. Please join me in welcome a really good guy, Senator John Bozeman.
Thank you. It's good to be in my hometown. I have to be careful here. You all actually know me. I get a lot more respect every place else. I'm proud to join all of you here today. You've been instrumental in securing a mission that will strengthen Arkansas's role in defending our nation and bring pilots from across the world to train here in Fort Smith. This is a great example of so many people working together for a common goal and what can be achieved when we have the same objective. We appreciate the community leaders. We appreciate the community working so very hard in this regard, welcoming foreign dignitaries and rolling out the red carpet to demonstrate what their pilots and families can expect when they get to the River Valley. Having grown up in Fort Smith, I understand very well what sets this community apart. The people that live here, your contagious passion and that steadfast commitment to the success of this city, which is also what I've heard from our partners. I've been honored to visit with many of them: Finland, Poland, Germany, and most recently Singapore. All of these leaders to reinforce your message and share why Ebbing and this entire community are superior. As we work with the Air Force over the next year and into the future, our goal is to build Ebbing into one of the premier training facilities in the country. We are all working to ensure it is ready to deliver on-time training that meets national and global security needs. In my recent conversation with Singaporean officials, we were actually in Singapore, and they highlighted how nice the people of Fort Smith are and how excited they are about living here and raising their families. We were fortunate. They visited Michigan in the winter. They shared a story, and these were very, very high-level meetings. So we're sitting there, and a couple of pilots piped up. They were pilots, but they were also very, very senior members of the military, and they said that they were in a coffee shop in Fort Smith getting ready to start their day, and a couple of people walked over and said, recognized them, I guess by the way they spoke, and said, maybe their uniforms, and said, when are you going to be here? We want to see you in the air. So they talked about that, and then again, the people of Fort Smith bought them some coffee, patted them on the back, and those are the little things that are so meaningful and just illustrate the special place that we have here in Arkansas. We'll be making sure the Air Force is executing what it needs so that this mission is ready to hit the ground running, and I will continue encouraging our allies and partners to join the effort. I'm confident by the time we have enhanced the capabilities here to support this new mission, Ebbing Air Base will be envied among other states, and more Air Force units will be clamoring to train here. Again, many thanks to the local and state leaders for all of your hard work during the process, and to Governor Sanders for jumping in. Governor Hutchinson was so supportive. Now Governor Sanders has come in and is truly leading the charge as we go forward, and her team. I am committed, and I know the rest of the Arkansas congressional delegation is committed to resourcing this mission. So this investment in the region and our national security pays huge dividends for our years to come. I want to close by just thanking Senator Cotton and Congressman Womack. They've done a tremendous job in Washington. We wouldn't be where we are without their efforts. But also, besides that, we're up on the stage. We're kind of the tip of the spear. But the people that support us do a tremendous job. So those of you that staff us or staffing in some capacity, raise your hand, stand up, do something so we can recognize you. There's a bunch of you out there. But these are the people that do the work. Thank you, guys. We really do appreciate you.
Thank you, Senator. Next, I would like to introduce Senator Tom Cotton. Arkansas's U.S. Senator serves on the Judiciary Committee, where he serves as the ranking member for the Subcommittee on Criminal Justice and Counterterrorism, the Intelligence Committee, the Armed Service Committee, where he serves as the ranking member of the Air Land Power Subcommittee. Senator Cotton served in Iraq with the 101st Airborne and in Afghanistan with the Provincial Reconstruction Team. Between his two combat tours, Senator served the Old Guard at the Arlington Cemetery. The Senator's military decorations include the Bronze Star, Combat Infantry Badge, and the Ranger Tab. Between the Army and the Senate, Senator Cotton worked for McKinsey Company and served one term in the House of Representatives. Please join me in welcoming the strong Tom Cotton.
Thank you. Thank you. Tim, thank you for the very kind introduction, and thanks to everyone at the Fort Smith Regional Chamber of Commerce for the years of hard work that helped bring us to this day. I also want to say that I'm pleased to join, and I want to thank and recognize Governor Sanders, Senator Bozeman, Congressman Womack, and all the outstanding local, state, and military leaders to share the good news that the sound of freedom is returning to the River Valley. I want to thank especially the City of Fort Smith and Mayor McGill. Thank you very much for your tireless effort to make sure American fighter aircraft return to Ebbing Air Force Base. In the coming years, your Department of Defense will invest tens of millions of dollars to turn Ebbing into the home of the F-35, the world's premier stealth fighter. Some of the great aviators of tomorrow will soon call Arkansas home as pilots from across the free world come here to train. This project will also bring major economic opportunities to our state and to this region for decades to come. It's expected to add as much as $1 billion to the local economy and around 1,500 military personnel and their families. They will soon be shopping in local stores, eating in local restaurants, exploring our great natural state, and who knows, maybe we'll even turn them into Razorback fans. This is truly a great day in Arkansas, and again, I want to commend and congratulate everyone who worked so hard over the last few years to bring this mission and these opportunities back to the River Valley. And I want to conclude by saying a special thanks to all of Arkansas's soldiers and airmen who so sacrificially give of themselves every day for our state, for our nation, and for the cause of freedom. Thank you all. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Senator. Next, Congressman Steve Womack. Congressman Steve Womack has proudly represented the 3rd District since his election in 2010. He is currently a senior member of the powerful House Appropriations Committee, where he is the chairman of the Financial Services and General Government Subcommittee. Also sits on the Defense and Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development Subcommittee. He formerly served as the chairman of the House Budget Committee. Congressman Womack retired from the Arkansas National Guard in 2009 at a rank of colonel with more than 30 years of service. Congressman Womack has strong record of public service to the natural state, where he's defined by a lifelong philosophy: lead by example and lead from the front. As former mayor of Rogers, where I got to know the congressman many years ago, he's credited with leading an unprecedented expansion of the Rogers economy with more than $1 billion in local investment. He was the 2022 recipient of the Dick Trammell Good Neighbor Award. That's a good man. The Rogers community is the highest honor presented to an individual who has contributed to the betterment of the Rogers region. Please join me in welcome my good friend, Congressman Steve Womack.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim, for that great introduction. You know, there's one thing about being last or toward the end of the speakers on a celebration like today. The people that have already spoken have said everything that really needs to be said. The only problem is I haven't had a chance to say it, but I'm going to double down on some of those themes for a minute. You know, it's one thing to marvel at man's magnificent machines like the F-35. But it's something else to marvel about the men and women who will fly them and the training that goes into it, the risk that they take when they put that uniform on, the hardship and sacrifice that they go through, and families gathered around here understand what I'm talking about. That is a real difference maker. And I think it separates this country from all others. And there's a reason why this mission is coming to Fort Smith. And some of those reasons have already been mentioned. Our proximity to airspace and our great weather. But I want to focus on these people because when it was all said and done, the Singaporeans felt like they were already part of the community when they visited. Our people make a difference. And we've got some exceptional people. On June 1st, in just 4 weeks, one of our people is going to be commissioned a lieutenant in the United States Air Force at the U.S. Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. She grew up just a few blocks from where we stand. And she graduated at Fort Smith Southside High School. She was a Rhodes finalist. She won the Truman Scholarship. And after 2 years at the Harvard School, the Kennedy School of Public Service, she too will go to pilot training. And who knows? One day, maybe Madison Marsh will be in the cockpit of an F-35, one of our very own. And that's what makes this day so special for me, because I know the difference makers that are gathered in this audience and that make up Arkansas's 3rd District. Governor, we are so glad you are here today. And I know you already know the special qualities of the 3rd District of Arkansas. And 1 week ago, as I speak, the Republic of Singapore Air Force Commander, Major General Kong, and I were walking through the U.S. Capitol on a tour with his Chief of Staff, his wife, and others. And he was talking about this new home for his pilots in the Singapore Air Force. We have an amazing opportunity. We're going to benefit greatly from it. And the credit, though I will tell you, the delegation behind me has done yeoman's work in making this possible. But the true difference makers are the people in this audience that make Fort Smith and the River Valley and our great state of Arkansas just the absolute right place for success like this to happen. So I'm grateful, and I'm proud, and I am anxious for us to finish the work ahead to get this sound of freedom once again booming throughout the Arkansas River Valley. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Congressman. Next is Major General Jonathan Stubbs. In September 2021, he was selected for promotion to Brigadier General and assigned as the Vice Director of Operations at the National Guard Bureau in Arlington. In January 2022, Major General Stubbs was assigned as the Deputy Director of Operations, Readiness and Mobilization at Headquarters, Department of Army, the Pentagon. In January of 2023, General Stubbs was selected for promotion to Major General and was appointed by Governor Sarah Sanders as the 54th Adjunct General of Arkansas. Join me in welcome General Stubbs.
Thanks, sir. All right, team, what a great day, and what a privilege it is to stand here before you in front of the flag of the greatest nation on earth, sitting inside a hangar in Fort Smith, Arkansas, the greatest state of the Union, representing the greatest National Guard across the 54. Who? That's right. No doubt. All right, so if you are a veteran or a retiree, have worn the uniform of our great nation in the past, or a spouse of a veteran or retiree, please stand up. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Hey, it's so great to be here with the Commander-in-Chief and our congressional delegation, our community leaders. Again, an opportunity to represent the over 8,400 men and women, soldiers and airmen of the Arkansas National Guard. You can be proud of your National Guard. At this very moment, on this campus, in this facility, tucked away in a dark space behind several layers of closed doors, young Americans, young Arkansans are making a difference in this nation's security right now, across the globe. At this very moment, Arkansas National Guardsmen are in Germany, and they are partnering with the Ukrainian armed forces, and they are training them to defend their homelands and defeat Russian aggression right now. Yes. And right now, we still have over 500 Arkansas Army National Guardsmen deployed in the Middle East combating violent extremism. Let's give them a hand, too. Hey, and what makes the Arkansas National Guard so awesome is that we can do all of that. And guess what? On 31 March, when the tornado struck Little Rock and Wynne, Arkansas, I'm at the airport getting ready to go to Singapore. And as soon as the tornado leaves Pulaski County, just minutes after that, the boss calls. And she says, hey, General Stubbs, I'm going to need Arkansas's finest. So in the midst of providing all this awesome capability around the globe, 200 National Guardsmen of this great state rallied around the flag, rallied around its citizens, and answered the call in their local communities. Again, incredible. Let's give them a round of applause. Hey, and lastly, and I know I need to get off the stage here, but I want to recognize the men and the women, the airmen of the 188th. This is an extraordinary organization with rich history, generational history. Fathers, sons, uncles, nephews, aunts, nieces, mothers, and daughters who have served as part of this great organization. And what is so awesome, they are doing incredible work, just as we described. And that work is going to continue, and we're looking out past the headlights, and we're looking at the next thing for the 188, to secure the future of this great organization for future generations to come. And I'm telling you, pigs are going to fly again. So I'm proud to serve alongside of you. What a great team. Just so proud to be on this team. So proud of our men and women in uniform. So proud of this great community. God bless all of you. And as Senator Cotton said, you can't say it enough. God bless this great nation, the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, General Stubbs. Okay, I took the bio of Gator, and I'm just going to put it over here. Gator really needs no introduction in this community, so everyone here knows Gator. Colonel Rob Gator goes by Gator. He and I have been tied to the hip for 2.5 years on this project, and others. I mean, General Dodro's in the room. There are a lot of people who I've worked with on this project, so Gator, you're the only person standing in the way of us wrapping. But when Gator is done, no hurry, sir, we're all going to line up here for a photograph for the media. And then after we wrap, I would encourage the individuals from the media who want to interview anyone on stage. It will be in front of the backdrop just over to my right. So I would like to now welcome Gator.
Well, Congressman Womack, this is what it means to hit back up, or clean up. I wanted to thank everybody, and one of the things that my role as Director of Military Affairs at the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, this was born out of a vision that started in 2015 to be able to position the state, to be able to protect the missions that we have in the state of Arkansas, but be in a position then to welcome new missions if we had a base realignment and closure commission. That was the point. I'll be perfectly honest with you, and I had a conversation with Mike Tilley that I didn't believe that during my term of service in this role that I would actually see new mission coming to the state, and we were going to work on all that it meant to be the most welcoming, most military-friendly state in the nation. Well, here we are, because really, truly, we didn't have as far to run as we may have thought, because in the state of Arkansas is probably the most patriotic place that I've ever lived in my life, and my move to Little Rock was number 24 for me. So this state, what this community has done has been truly, truly amazing. So I would first off like to say thank you to Mr. Brad Hageman and the rest of the Arkansas Military Affairs Council for all the help and then the support that I receive every day from the Secretary McDonald of the Department of Commerce and my boss, Clint O'Neill at the Arkansas Economic Development Commission for turning me loose and allowing us to sit there and run and make a fool of myself. But when I look across this room, I'm truly amazed because I look at each person and I could come up with 1,000 stories of how each one of you has played a direct and distinct role in allowing us to achieve this mission. I mean, I could be up here for the next 10 hours, and I am an Air Force pilot, and given the opportunity, I'll do that. But I will tell you that this story is an incredible one of a community and as a state coming together to achieve what we thought was a bridge too far. And we're going to benefit greatly from this. But I don't want anyone here to think that it's time to spike the football. We have a mountain to climb to be able to be in a position to be able to receive these jets that we're going to see in the city of Fort Smith at Ebbing Air National Guard Base in September of next year is when we're planning on receiving our first aircraft. So we've got a lot of work to do. And there's a lot of things that we have worked through over time. You know, I look out here and I'm seeing like General Dodro and all the things that we've done and how far we've come. I look at the Airport Commission and all the things that's going to be required of them. All the support that we've gotten from the Board of Directors and from the Chamber Board. It's truly, truly an amazing story. And so one of the things I like to tell this one story. Here about a couple months ago, we had the German defense attaché in town, and we were bragging on the city of Fort Smith, and we were taking them around, and we were rolling out the red carpet. And that night, I was driving them back to their hotel, and I'm driving down Rogers Boulevard, and I look over at the defense attaché, and I said, Admiral, did you happen to see that little sticker, that little patch that you see on the screen? Did you happen to see that in the back window of that car we're driving next to? And he goes, well, what is that? So I gave him a patch. And he goes, so this city is committed to the point where they're putting it on their vehicles? And I said, absolutely. And he goes, this would have never happened in my country. And it's a testament to what each and every one of you have brought to this fight to be able to make these countries feel welcome. And this is going to prepare us and the world, the free world, for great power competition that is on the horizon. And we have to prepare. So I just really wanted to say more than anything else to the citizens of the River Valley and Fort Smith in particular, thank you. You make me proud to be an Arkansan. Thank you.
All right, very good. So again, media, over to the right side, where the curtain's at. Thank you all for coming. Thank you so much.